The Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida. This is episode 16B of the Finding Florida podcast on the Florida Podcast Network, sailing into the Miami Boat Show.
We hope you're ready for an adventure.
Welcome to Finding Florida, the podcast that takes you from country to the coast. Join your tour guides, an unlikely pair, city girl Jemmy and country boy Glenn, as they explore the amazing sights and sounds of the Sunshine State.
Last month, we swam with the manatees. If you missed it, what is wrong with you? Go back and listen. It was fantastic. Episodes 15A and 15B. One of the other things that Florida is known for is the thing that took us to swim with the manatees, the boats. Big boats, small boats, yachts, expensive. Well, they're all expensive. I was going to say inexpensive. No such thing. But all of them, all the way from the largest to the smallest. I mean, so this month we had to finally go and check out some really cool boats. So we got invited to go visit one of the largest boat shows in the world, the Miami International Boat Show.
And we're going to hear all about that in this episode, plus a few other things that we did along the way, all involving the water in Southeast Florida. And
somehow it's easy for me to find those things.
Yes. And don't forget that the pictures and videos of all of our escapades for this episode are found in our show notes at findingfloridapodcast.com and on all our social media. Well, it's Saturday, was supposed to be Friday, but we're finally on our way to this adventure, and it's about to begin.
So we are on our way to the Miami Boat Show, a day late, but not $1 short, guys. I had a little bit of an issue. I wasn't feeling very well, and standing on a boat my boat was already rocked, let's just put it this way. So we're a day late, which means, we have to meet Miss BoatUS Magazine's boat course. So I want to say an early thank you to Stacy and Scott for setting that up. Sorry we missed it, but we are on our way now to the Miami Boat Show. We are so excited to go. And just to give you an idea, the Miami Boat Show, this is its 78th anniversary. This thing's been around for a long time.
It's one of the largest in the country. And it's the largest in Florida.
And it started off in 1941 under one tent with 50 boats. And so for me, if I were to walk into that now, I'd be like, wow, that's huge. Yeah. So I can only imagine what my reaction is going to be now, 78 years later, with all the growth. It's showcasing more than 1,400 boats. I mean, come on. They range in length from 10 feet to 90 feet. So we're in it for a time. We're going to learn a lot about boats and boating. I caught the boat bug with Steve
on our last episode.
River. Yes, I sure did. He took us out. That was the Carefree Boat Club. And
let's say this right now. Jemmy and I know nothing about boats. Zero. So if we say the wrong terminology in this episode and you're a boat person like Steve, who will definitely call us out.
Oh, gosh.
We apologize in advance for everything we're going to say that's wrong or incorrect.
Send emails to Glenn at FloridaPodcast.com. All complaint emails go to Glenn.
That's a disclaimer right now. We're learning with you. But boating is such a huge part of what happens in Florida.
And there are going to be 100,000 other people over there learning right along with us because it is huge.
It is huge.
Right. And there, 25,000 of them, they come in through on a water taxi and of some sort. So that's going to be kind of cool.
We're taking that today.
Yeah,
we're heading to the water taxi now. We're actually on the turnpike heading south.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot park at the boat show. You have to park at a lot in the city in Miami and then take a bus or a water taxi in. We elected for the water taxi. I don't know why, because it sounded fun.
That
If
sounded
you're going to a
fun.
boat show, you have to take a boat.
Show. You know,
Right.
we're doing a show all about boats. You might as well catch a ride on a water taxi. But yeah, while we're there, we're also going to try to catch a few other things. You know, a couple things on our list. We're going to try to see if we can find the most expensive yacht in the lot and try to get on it, maybe. We're going to definitely try to run into our friends at BoatUS magazine. We were told by Scott to look for Ted Sensenbrenner, so we're going to try to find you, Ted. And we are also going to try to hunt down a boat captain, in addition to all the other wonderful random things and personalities there are to experience at this boat show. You know, this boat show's economic impact is huge, absolutely huge. It's a $53 million impact from the out-of-town travelers alone. There's 36,000 of those, so that's going to be huge for our state. So congratulations to the Miami Boat Show for doing that. Did you know that 33% of the exhibitors are also based in Florida? So part of the Miami Boat Show's economic impact is all the business that then gets generated from the contacts that are made here. So I'm sure this place is going to be buzzing with boat fever. I can't wait to experience it. What about you, Glenn?
I can't either. It's going to be a lot of fun. And one thing we should be able to find a lot of at a boat show is interesting characters.
Yes.
So we're going to look for those.
Off to the water taxi.
We just left American Airlines Arena, home of the World Championship Miami Heat basketball team.
So we are on the water taxi, just finishing our ride. About a 20-minute ride.
Yeah, something like that.
Beautiful ride. It is a perfect day to go to the Miami
It's
Boat
nice
Show.
and breezy, cooled us down.
And the sun is out, and the city was sparkling today. We'll post some pictures from...
Gorgeous skyline. I mean, the skyscrapers are beautiful down here. They're so colorful, and they're gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. It was nice.
And it was a nice boat ride over here. But one of the cool things was, I think this is the day we finished our cruise from episode...
Gosh, that must have been, I don't know, 6, 5? I don't know, some early
If
days.
you look at one of our cruising episodes in the early days, we were getting
The cruising
off,
into Key West episode, whatever number that was.
last year this day. We were
Yeah.
getting off that ship.
Yeah.
We saw a port park there.
Exactly,
It was cool.
exactly.
We passed right by the port.
It feels like we're come full circle. Maybe, you know what, February needs to be our boating month.
month.
A boating anniversary of adventure.
I'm finding Florida. So we're about to enter the boat show. And
Yeah, we
we'll
just
have more-
we just passed by, guys. Just to let you know, as you're coming into the boat show docks, there are. It's hard to explain it exactly, but shelves and shelves of boats.
That's how they store them.
They're stacked up. It's kind of cool to see. We'll post pictures in our show notes,
It's
but
like a garage for boats.
we're gonna go get on a couple of those, hopefully.
We did see one that I got to talk to you about. It's what's called the Tatouche.
Yes, the
The
Touche.
first yacht we saw, it's 300 feet long, owned by the estate of the now deceased Paul Allen, co-founder of Microsoft.
You know, it's supposed to be small potatoes.
He bought it in 2001 for $100 million. Tried to sell it a couple years ago for 140, and it didn't sell, so it's sitting there.
So it's on the market, guys, for the next available buyer.
Has a crew of 45,
Wow.
and is a big boat.
Wow. And then we passed another boat called, it's made for me, guys. It's called the South Florida Princess. We just look up that boat and
It's
see how much
perfect.
we have in common.
Thanks for joining BoatUS. We are thrilled to officially welcome you to the BoatUS family of over 500,000 boaters.
Well, our first stop here at the Miami Boat Show was with BoatUS, and we were so sorry yesterday that Jemmy got sick, and we couldn't come out and do our boating lesson, but we're here with Ted, who's going to tell us a little bit about what is BoatUS, first of all.
Well, BoatUS is an organization for boaters. BoatUS stands for the Boat Owners Association of the United States, and as such, BoatUS offers a variety of products and services for the boating public. I actually represent the BoatUS Foundation for Boating Safety and Clean Water. Our mission primarily is to help boaters be safe on the water, to reduce accidents and fatalities, and to help boaters be better stewards of our environment.
Boating safety and clean water are two very hot button issues in Florida. So if you were to say one key point about boat safety and then one key point about keeping our waters clean, what would you say?
Well, there's a variety of answers to that question, but if I were to give one tidbit of safety advice, it would be to leave alcohol at home. We find that our accident reports...
Then leave Jemmy at home.
Well, for when you're back safely at the dock. Or when you can enjoy it safely. We know that alcohol is a leading contributing factor to boating accidents. So is operator inattention. It's not unlike our vehicles on the highways.
I was going to say it's the same as cars then.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that it's not safe and against the law to operate a car under the influence, and it's the same with boats.
What about the water?
There are a number of things that boaters can do to be certain that they're taking care of our waterways. One of the things that happens frequently is when people refuel their boats, there's opportunities to spill and splash fuel into the water. That leaves that rainbow sheen that is such kind of a black eye for boaters. So if we can encourage boaters to fill up their boats in a proper and safe manner, that means using absorbent pads or maybe refueling their boat at a slower speed or only fueling their boats up to 90% capacity and not top it off. That's a good way to protect our environment.
You're doing boating driving training here, and that's the thing we missed yesterday. What are they doing out there right now? All 4 of your boats are out.
And we're really thrilled that we have our courses filled to capacity at the Miami International Boat Show. They're out there learning the basics of boating. The first person that walked up today, I asked him just in small talk, I said, what is your experience today? And he says, none, absolutely none. And I said, you are a perfect candidate. You are the perfect student. And
you want them to start with a clean slate.
Yeah. Indeed. In fact, they don't have to unlearn something that they learned.
Yeah.
They don't have bad habits yet. And hopefully by taking our course, they'll develop good habits that will stay with them for their boating lifetime. So they're out there learning the basics of boating. Quite honestly, they're going to begin with the key, start, neutral, go.
Whole driving test when you're 15, guys.
Yep. And they're going to learn to and that might not be so intuitive to people once they get out there. They ask sometimes, where are the brakes? And we've got to use a technique where we feather the boat back off of a plane or off of the speed, backing off on the throttle, going to neutral. If necessary, go back to reverse to try to slow that boat down, slow the momentum down. We want them to look ahead. We want them to have a proper lookout at all times so they know what's coming up and they can react and respond to those scenarios.
Okay, I have the most important question of the day. You've been doing this for a couple days with your 4 nice boats. How many have come in dented?
They've all come back, still polished.
Okay,
in
good.
fact,
I'm just checking.
The point of this really is to work.
I had made the tour.
Yeah, see, yesterday would have been a whole different story.
Well, this is the goal. The goal is to go out where we practice where there's open water. There aren't any other boats around. There aren't any pilings or docks. And then when they come back into a more congested area, they've got the confidence. They've already learned how to slow the boat down, how to glide, and how to assess their movement and momentum.
So you do boat shows all over the place, and you said you're from Maryland, right?
Correct.
So Annapolis has a huge boat show, right?
That's correct.
And so how does this one compare? How does Miami compare? Other than you're really warm now when you'd be freezing your ass off at home.
I'd say that would be the biggest. In February, there's no go. We're not boating in February here. The opportunity here in Miami is such that we see people from all over the country. We just checked in a couple that came from Florida. I'm sorry, that they are visiting here in Florida from Virginia. They came with their grandson, and they're enjoying the day out on the water, which they wouldn't be able to do if they had been back in Virginia at this time of year.
So we have listeners mostly in Florida, but kind of all over the place, and you guys do your courses all over the place. And as we were coming in here on our water taxi, I noticed a sign that reminded us of our very last adventure in Crystal River. I went swimming with the manatees, and there's a sign about, taking care and watching out for the manatees. Do you guys have to adjust your boat course depending on where the people are taking the course and watch out for those different things in different regions?
Yeah, we do. We do try to tailor the course for the geographic region. When we're out here, there's a lot of no-wake zones and no-speed zones, and that's to protect the environment so there's no erosion from boat wake or passing boat wake. It's also to protect the environment and the manatees and the other critters that share the waterways, as well as being a courteous thing to other boaters as well.
Yeah.
So where can people sign up and find your courses and get out on the water with you guys and learn the right way, right?
I'd go to visit and BoatUS.org, and then you'll find a schedule of all of our upcoming classes, and you can read the curriculum and the agenda so you can make sure that this is the right fit for you.
And you guys also have a magazine for the boat enthusiasts, the BoatUS magazine.
That's correct. BoatUS members receive our magazine automatically, comes right to their mailbox, and they can find more about our courses and all of what BoatUS does.
And can I say you have the best publisher in the whole world, Stacy?
Stacy Wigmore, yes, indeed. She's been with us to a variety of these on-water training sessions, too. We miss her here.
And she was very forgiving of my vertigo bout with my migraine yesterday and missing the course. So thank you, Stacy.
I've known Stacy for years. Hi, Stacy. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
BoatUS.org.
BoatUS.org.
Good afternoon. I'm standing here at the Miami Boat Show and have some really exciting things to talk about.
So we asked some people where we go at the Miami Boat Show to find the biggest motors. And we were told to come over and see you. So, Brian, what company?
Well, if you want the biggest outboards in the world, you got to go to Seven Marine. So Seven Marine is a company out of Germantown, Wisconsin, which is just near Milwaukee.
That is not the place I expected to find the biggest motors.
It's interesting you say that. Outboard motors come from two places in the world. They come from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Really?
So Mercury and Evinrude, the outboard was invented in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Does it have anything to do with the fact that there's a lot of beer produced there?
It absolutely does, because beer is brewed by Germans, and Germans build engines, and that's how it happened. So it's so true.
And the engines actually run. That's the amazing part.
It is amazing. And then Hamamatsu, Japan's the other place. So you've got Suzuki, Tohatsu, Honda, Yamaha, all in Hamamatsu, Evinrude, Seven Marine, Mercury Marine in Milwaukee. Seven Marine was founded by the Davis family, and Rick Davis was former chief technology officer of Mercury Marine. The company was then built, and we have a 627 horsepower, 577 horsepower, and 527 horsepower outboard motors.
For perspective, the average boat has what size?
I would say average boat, maybe a 150 horsepower
150 was what I
outboard.
was going to
Probably
guess.
kind of the largest segment.
So 4 times that.
So don't wear a toupee on one of these things, in other words.
Yeah, that would not be a good idea. And so Volvo Penta acquired Seven Marine in 2017, and so now Seven Marine's a division of Volvo Penta, which is the leader in inboard propulsion and stern drive propulsion across the industry and across the world. So now the world's largest outboard is with one of the largest marine propulsion suppliers in Volvo Penta, so it's a pretty exciting show.
And the boat we have behind us has 4 of those.
That's correct. That's an HCB Sueños 53, and it has 4, so that's 2,508 horsepower, I believe.
Oh my God.
And they also have a boat here with 5, so that's 3,135 horsepower.
And for the Spanish challenge, like my co-host Glenn here, Sueños, which is in the name, means dream, so I can only imagine that it rides like a dream.
It absolutely does.
So how's the Florida market for these fast guys, these really supercharged motors?
I mean, the offshore market is really a Florida market. Now, the products that's relevant in Florida is relevant all the way from Houston and all the way around up to Maine. But certainly a huge population of boats in the Florida market. And South Florida likes big power.
All right, there's one question they're all wanting to know, and you know the question, the retail on one of those puppies.
So the motors range, it depends on the package.
Yeah.
You know, every engine by itself sinks, so they got to be bolted onto a boat.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
And so the engines coupled together with the boat packages, that's right. You know, these boats are $500,000 to $5 million, and the engines will make up, you know, maybe from $85,000 to a piece to $150,000 a piece. So you can do the math times 2, 3, 4, or 5. But they're on big boats.
And where can people find more information about you
So
and what you guys do?
www.7-marine.com or see us on Facebook.
all right, this is the outboard. We're ready.
We're ready. And here's Glenn's highlight.
So we are here, and we knew we had to find somebody with personality that was walking around here, and we found the Squid Heads.
Yeah.
Where are the Squid Heads from?
We are from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Yes,
and
sir.
they are literally Squid Heads today. They're wearing Squid Heads. Yeah, that's right. So why the Squid Heads?
Well, it's actually a private joke. Like, we just messing around and just pretty much goofing around. Family, my father, my brothers, my wife, everyone just having a good time. And we just, oh, you know what? What about a squid, right? But what you do with the squid, you squish it. So, okay, the squish squad. But then we have the squid in the head. So
It's not just the hats, it's their shirts too that say Squish Squad on
Yep.
it and have a picture of a squid wearing sunglasses that are even cooler than our logo sunglasses.
Your family parties are fun, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And believe me, there was actually 2 more squids around here, but probably...
more squids?
Yeah.
We lost 2 of the herd. 2 of the squids have wandered off. So why are you at the Miami Boat Show and dressed as squids?
Just the squid. Yeah, we want to be like everyone notice us. You know what I mean? So, look at that. We like to have fun.
Because you wanted to get stopped by random podcasters to do a random interview about your random hats and random shirts.
Everything is all good. So,
are you guys boaters?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Where at? Where do you live now?
We actually our boaters are in Puerto Rico. We actually are from a small island of Puerto Rico called Vieques Island. So we definitely need boats. So
are you fishermen too?
Not myself, but I have cousins and other family who do.
Is that a private island? Is that the only way to get on was with a boat, or are there bridges and stuff? So
no.
So the only way is to get on a
just
boat.
Boats
I
and
love that.
little airplanes.
You also have a button on that says drunk number 2.
Yeah. Well,
and apparently Dad is drunk number 1.
He's number 1. He is.
I'm assuming brother's drunk
Yes,
number 3.
yes.
Wife is also drunk number 2. So
Yeah.
they're 2 drunk number 2s because you're too drunk to tell that there should only be 1 drunk number 2.
Exactly. Yep. You got that right.
Oh my God, you guys are a bundle of fun. We love you so much. Thank you so much for being in our presence and stopping and talking to us about your squid hats.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you to having us.
If anybody lives, especially down here in South Florida like I do, y'all know Freedom Boat Club to the point where I apologize, I don't know all the words, but the jingle goes something like this. Da-da-da-da-da-da, Freedom Boat Club. I think I got it close. We'll have to play it at the end of this for redemption. I'm sorry, I apologize in advance, Freedom Boat Club. But we are here with Randall Underwood, who's going to tell us a little bit about what the opportunity to be part of a boat club can be.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
So Freedom Boat Club, we basically make boating simple. If you've been thinking about boating but you don't have a boat, we have the boats for you. So we own the boats. We buy them brand new straight from the factory. We keep them 3 years. We replace them every 3 years. But as a member of Freedom Boat Club, you get unlimited use of our fleet of boats.
Right.
So you can take them out every day.
Right. I mean, when we were up in Crystal River for our last adventure, we got a little bit of taste of what that can be like with our friend Steve to be part of a membership club. So, I mean, this is what's great. So we come to a show like this. We just took a couple of pictures of the price tags on some of these boats. They're quite pricey, guys. I mean, how does an average boat that you have, what would that cost someone if they were to go out and try to get it themselves?
Well, when it comes to new boats, our boats range from 17 feet all the way up to 24 feet.
So they'd be pretty pricey if they were trying to...
Absolutely. So trying to buy a new boat, it's not
a
free.
cost.
It's not free.
Right.
And I think the biggest thing, too, with boats, we just talked about that with another interview, is maintenance, and you guys do all of that.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that one of the benefits of Freedom Boat Club is if you go buy a boat, you're going to put some money down. It's going to cost you monthly to own a boat. Same thing with Freedom Boat Club. We have a one-time entry fee and we have the monthly. The true value of Freedom Boat Club is the hassle-free part of it. Where basically we not only teach you on how to drive the boats, we have U.S. certified captains that spend 4 hours in class and actually out on the water to educate our customers so that they're very safe out on the water, so that they can go out many times.
Yeah.
And with the benefit of when they go out, they basically show up to the dock. Our dock masters help everybody get from their car to the boat. They go out and have a great day. When they come back in, all we ask is that they pay for the fuel that they use that day. And then we help them get them from the boat to their car, and that's the best part. They drive away.
People come down to Florida, whether it's for a visit, or to move down here for a certain lifestyle. And one of those attractive lifestyles is the lifestyle of being out on the water. But it can sometimes feel like a pipe dream or intimidating if you've never actually been able to do it yourself. So coming down here and joining a boat club like with you guys can really help people, not to be too punny, but dip their toes in it a little bit and go almost kind of be led in baby steps, right? I think it's really great.
We offer every type of boat you might want. So if you want like an inshore fishing boat, one day, and then the next day you have family of 12 and you want to take a pontoon.
Yeah, because they can pick and choose as they come in, right?
We got bow riders, we have deck boats for wakeboarding. We have offshore fishing boats, so if you want to go in the Atlantic or the Gulf of Mexico, it allows you to have every type of boat you want in Florida for a fraction of the cost of owning one boat.
Absolutely. And as we are learning on these adventures, and as we're going to be learning more here at the Miami Boat Show, people are into buying their own boats or being on the water for so many different reasons. It could be for fishing. It could be for, seeing the wildlife. It could be for go on a speedboat and do sailing. There's so many different reasons.
Or
and
all of the above.
All of the above. And so when you join a boat club like this, whether it's to take your family out on the water for just a little gentle family day, or just go crazy with your buddies who are in from college, and you wanted to go out on a fun day and do some speedboating or whatever it is, go out fishing, you can change up what you want to do because you don't own the boat. And so you can come to Freedom Boat Club and just pick a boat.
That's right. Not only can you pick the type of boat, you also can pick locations. We have 175 locations nationwide. So as a Freedom Boat Club member, if you want to take a boat, if you want to travel and take a boat out of Chicago, or you want to have a romantic anniversary at Matlacha and stay the night, you can even keep our boats overnight if you like at a bungalow somewhere, just as long as it's tied to a dock. So you really get the full lifestyle of boating here in Southwest Florida.
And it makes it available
Florida.
for pretty much everybody. So thank you so much, Randall. Where can people find Freedom Boat Club?
Well, simply go to our website is the easiest way at freedomboatclub.com. But if you would like to call, we do have a National Member Experience Center. We can call us at 888-781-7363.
Thank you, Randall.
The Freedom Boat Club. That's the Freedom Boat Club. We love the Freedom Boat Club.
We are having a melting of some wonderful interviews right now because we have found Deborah, who works for Freedom Boat Club but is volunteering and helping out with BoatUS here at the Miami International Boat Show.
Yes.
And what are you doing here with BoatUS as part of Freedom Boat Club?
I'm actually an instructor, captain for mostly the ladies group. We have a little issue of girls getting behind the helm.
Yeah.
Because we usually are in the water with our husbands.
The men want to take the helm all the time, girl. We're like, no, but don't you know women are strong? We should be in charge all the time.
we get tired of the line sometimes.
I know.
And, it's good that the boys take the advantage of all what a girl can bring to safety when boating.
Absolutely.
We have the mother, instinct.
Yeah. And there's a special course here for the women making waves, right? So you're one of the instructors for women making waves. Why is it important for women to be able to get onto the water together in an instructional course? Why is that important?
Well, first of all, we have a lot of things in common. Okay, mostly we would love to drive the boat, and we can.
Because, again, loudmouth men want to be in charge all the time.
But also, when you put a lot of girls together, and you show what they are capable of doing.
Right.
And of course, in a very structural manner, verbalizing all the actions to approach a docking in a more safety way.
Yeah.
You create that vibe. And it's very empowering.
Absolutely. And that's exactly the word I was going to use. Being out on the water can be something that is very empowering for women. We can learn how to control the boat and all of that. And you were explaining that through your history, your background, being from Brazil, your father working with you and all of that, you've had opportunities through learning to dive and learning to work the boat that have helped you feel more empowered. So what has being on the water helped you do as a woman here in Florida?
It's kind of closed the full circle. Having experienced surfing and understanding, the morphology of the waves and the beach, and then going in scuba diving, becoming a dive master, understanding what's going on under and what the ocean can bring to your life and what a great energy the ocean is.
Yes.
Having an instructor, having a captain, while taking my certification just gave me that.
And she was a woman.
She was a woman.
Captain, yeah.
I look at her, Annie Gonzalez. I look at her and I said, she showed me it's possible. She was a great captain. And I said, if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yes.
And I hope I can be that little inspiration for every single girl that comes to my boat.
I love that. So, we think about things like the lifestyles of Florida. We think about the salt life, quote unquote, right? And so we think men being out on their boats and they're fishing or all that stuff. And usually when women get into the salt life, they're brought in by a man, who's teaching them how to surf or teaching them how to fish or teaching them how to drive a boat. So it's really nice to see women bringing women into the salt life.
I love it. Yes, I love to do it.
That's really great. So thank you so much for being part of this and helping women make waves.
You're very welcome. And come to, have a day. So we have the Divas Day, which we take all the ladies to go for lunch. And we're going to talk all about what, it's...
How men drive us crazy on the boats?
Oh, we have
it
that
turns
part.
To a gossip day, I imagine.
We have that part of our conversation during Divas Day, too.
There you go, there you go.
But we have a lot of laughs. We enjoy our day. We can see it's possible. And with practice, we all achieve what we want.
There you go. Thank you so much, Deborah. It's been wonderful.
Flintstone Media has been the digital bedrock of several Florida brands and businesses, serving as a highly resourceful website and podcast production house since 2010. Ready to be seen? Flintstone Media has crafted the online presence for dozens of brands. In creating an intelligently built website that acts as your business's beacon, Flintstone Media will craft solid and attractive content to control your brand's message, collect visitor data, and showcase what you have to offer. Ready to be heard? Work with a leader in Florida's podcasting industry and add a podcast to your brand's content offerings. From setup through recording and distribution, Jemmy will lend her experience producing over 500 episodes and make the process of creating your show simple and easy for you. Visit flintstonemedia.com for website and podcast samples to ignite your digital presence. That's flintstonemedia.com. We are done at the boat show. We have now taken the bus. We didn't take the water taxi back to the parking lot. We took the bus because it was going to be quicker. And we were baked. I hate to tell everybody that's in the north now listening to this, but it was hot. I know it's a first world problem. I get it. I understand. You can. I understand. But it was hot today at the boat show.
Funny enough, only one of us ended up with sunburn, I'm sure.
I don't know who that would have been.
I can't imagine which one of us that was. But wow, did we have fun? We didn't get
Your nose gets burned occasionally.
It happened once in college after a week of Jazz Fest. It doesn't count. So, we didn't get to spend the 3 hours on the actual boat on a training tour like we were gonna because, I got sick. But we did spend quite a lot of time on floating docks.
Yes, we did. We were bobbing a bit.
And the water taxi.
And we hope you enjoyed all of the interviews we got. We met some fascinating, fun people.
We met Squid Heads. I mean, Squid Heads, guys. With Squish Squid shirts.
And we learned a lot about boats.
We
and
did.
Boating.
We did. Yeah. And you got, you found a steering wheel that you can afford.
I can
afford.
The
one thing you can
afford.
The
one thing I could afford was the steering wheel. And even then, I'd have to use my credit card.
But it was really neat. There were just lines and lines. Okay, here's what struck me the most, right? So I knew I was going to a boat show, but I really didn't know what to expect. I've never been to one before, even though I'm from down here. But I've been to my fair share of conventions. I love conventions. I go to a lot. So it's really neat that a boat show is really just a convention on docks. Because you just walk up and down these different docks that are lined up parallel to each other, like a docks are. And you just you walk up and down and you just see boat after boat after boat. And they're the exhibit booths for all intents and purposes. It's pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. And it was very busy. Very busy. There were a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of people taking boats out on test drives. So you could sign up to do that.
I went to go take a picture with a boat it said JL Audio on the side. I was all excited. By the time I got walked my way around to it, it was out on a test drive. I'm like, dang it. But I guess I got a picture of the boat carpet. So it's not quite My Name in Lights, but it's pretty close. It's good.
Well, one of the things we learned while we were at the boat show is it's freaking expensive.
It's golly. I mean, the boat world is pricey, just like the horse world. Yes. I'm learning. But this is just another level. Holy cow. I could buy a huge mansion for what people are buying a little teeny weeny boat.
That's right. That's right. Some of those boats, I mean, they didn't look that big and they were like $200,000.
Insane. And I learned, so we're learning terminology. I learned the term outboard and inboard. I never knew the terms, and I learned that outboards are very expensive, some of them. And that's where most of the price of the boat can be. My God.
So what is an outboard, Jemmy?
I told you, I learned something. So an outboard is the motor engine thing that looks like the top of the head of the alien in Alien. It's on the back of the boat, and it's when the engine is on the back outside. You can see it. It's lifted like out of the water, and just the propellers are spinning under the water. That's an outboard. An inboard is when it's like tucked into underneath the boat, so you can't really see it. Did I get it right?
Very good. I'm impressed.
She can be taught, ladies and
I am
gentlemen.
very impressed. I'm very impressed. And how many horsepower was the biggest one we saw?
350, 600. I have no idea.
650.
Oh, golly. That sounds it's like a Mercedes-Benz I've been dreaming about my entire life.
So there was 2,400 horsepower on that boat.
I think it would launch right into space. How does it not launch?
I know. So we posted the picture of me with the steering wheel saying how expensive everything is.
Yeah.
And some of our listeners had some comments about boat ownership.
Imagine.
So here we are. BoatUS stands for bust out another 1,000.
It makes sense. I mean, think about it. Even just the docking fees and stuff. Everything is so much money.
And the fuel. Oh, the fuel.
Both clubs are sounding better and better every minute.
That's right. And one of our listeners, Mary, said, I love this one, the two best day of a boat owner's life is the day he buys it and the day he sells it. Love that one.
Is that the best day of his life or his wife's life?
Exactly. The one last one, Andrew said, boat equals hole in the water you pour money in. And everybody that's owned a boat has said, my brother owned a boat for a long time, and it was that way. It was always getting repaired. It always cost a fortune. So yeah, it was fun though. We had a good day, and it was. There are obviously a lot of boat enthusiasts because the place was packed.
There are a lot, but you know what? We're hungry and we're ready to feed. We're ready to drink, and I'm going to take you to one of my favorite watering holes, and it's actually it's the oldest waterfront restaurant in all of Florida. It's called Old Key Limehouse. It is a pillar of society. It's in Lantana. I can't wait. It's also a huge tiki bar. I think they have like 4 or 5. You're not going to believe it. You're going to understand immediately why I love it so much. There are like 5 bars in this place, but it's outdoor. And what's cool is you can take one of these boat enthusiasts we saw today at the boat show can take their boat and just drive right up to Old Key Limehouse, climb out onto the dock, and you're sitting down at a table in a few minutes. It's awesome.
And we're going to do another review. I did a review last time, and
I loved it.
Jemmy loved it so much she's going to make me write a review of this restaurant. So maybe we'll have a restaurant review every show. We'll find out. And here's Jemmy's highlight.
Old Key Limehouse opened in 1889, and this beautiful historic restaurant is proud to be Florida's oldest waterfront restaurant. With the best view possible of the South Florida Intercoastal Waterway, locally caught seafood, and their award-winning key lime pie, Old Key Limehouse is sure to be your new favorite restaurant. There is something for everyone, dining and dancing late into the night, a tiki bar offering live music with local bands, and the largest gator viewing site. Old Key Limehouse.
Ever since we learned we were going to the Miami Boat Show and doing a boat-themed episode in Southeast Florida, my sweet, non-opinionated co-host Jemmy proclaimed that her favorite restaurant was going to be part of this episode. Mm-hmm. Not once, not twice, but every single time we discussed it. I heard the name.
By the way, we have to go. I'm just letting you know.
I heard the name Old Key Limehouse in Lantana, Florida about 100 times.
I love.
I asked, is it part of a boating episode? Well, I was told in no uncertain terms that it was a boat bar, so if you can drive your boat to the dock, then it counts for a boating episode.
It counts. That's right.
Then, when both Jemmy and I were sick the day before our adventure, and I mentioned the restaurant would have to be canceled because we can't eat anything, well, was I wrong again? We were going to Old Key Limehouse in Lantana, Florida, if we only sat at the bar, and if we only had one drink, whether we liked it or not. So after the boat show, off to Lantana, Florida, we went. Lantana sits off of Route 1 a few miles south of Lake Worth near South Palm Beach, right on the Intercoastal Waterway.
Conveniently, about 7 minutes from my house.
Exactly. It was Saturday night, and this quaint oceanfront town was hopping with an in-season crowd. Bars, restaurants, music, and lots of people. From the outside, Old Key Limehouse is exactly what you would imagine it to be. A typical lime green waterfront restaurant in any town coastal Florida. Although a bit smaller than I expected, well, sometimes looks are deceiving.
I was going to say.
The place on the inside is huge with a large... But on the outside, it looks tiny. The place on the inside is huge with a large restaurant overlooking the water and 5 bars. Yes, I said it. 5 bars. It is a beach town after all.
Exactly why it's my favorite restaurant. Okay, continue.
And the place was packed. Jemmy took me on a tour through the whole place. She knew every bar stool, every game in the place.
And I showed you my signature, my number written in the bathroom wall. No, I didn't.
And I went into the bathroom to look for her number on the wall and didn't find it. But I did hear some of the stories of the wild times that she had there, although I don't think I really heard the juicy ones.
If it wasn't caught on recording, it never happened.
We found the only table available, literally, in any of the bars, and it was the best table in the house.
It was!
Along the rail, on the rooftop bar, overlooking the Intercoastal Waterway, on a perfect Florida midwinter night. Cool, but not too cool. The kind of night when everything sparkles. As busy as
the glow of the TV over the water.
Yes, there was actually a large TV over the water, which was kind of weird. As busy as it was, the servers were on it, taking our drink orders immediately, and of course, Jemmy knew the drink menu by heart.
Just about, yeah.
She had a very manly
Planters Punch. I highly recommend it to any rum lover out there. Oh, my Lord. Especially if you want to get knocked on your butt in one shot.
In one drink, which it pretty much was. And I had one of my girly drinks, a mimosa. Yes, I know it was evening, blah, blah, blah. I had a mimosa, all right. And I got to say, it was not the best mimosa I've ever had. It was, I don't know.
If I tasted it or not.
I think that the orange juice was fresh in the morning, and by evening, when nobody orders a mimosa.
You know, note to self, you don't usually get fish at a steak restaurant. You don't get mimosas at like 8 o'clock at night.
Okay, I learned. But you know what? Drinks were just what we needed after a long, hot day at the boat show. We couldn't eat much because of our respective stomach issues, so we ordered off the bar menu.
So many issues.
Yes. We ordered off the bar menu. Jemmy got fish and chips, and I ordered up some wings and fries. Jemmy's fish was cooked the way she likes it. Crispy on the outside and light and flaky on the inside. And let's face it, it's all about the tartar sauce anyway, which I think she was eating with a spoon.
You know what? I must just make a point and make it clear, but our tummy issues were not because of the food. Tummy issues existed before the food. I just want to make sure Key Lighthouse doesn't think we're throwing one to the bus.
That's the reason we didn't order like a full dinner.
A lot more.
Yeah, exactly. The wings were cooked to perfection. If you're in the Palm Beach area and want a quintessential beach bar experience, the Old Key Limehouse is a great choice. If you like bars with very loud live bands, then the downstairs bar is the one you want. If you want a quieter time with your sweetie, then head up to the rooftop bar. And if you're
loud music or quiet time, I wonder which one you made me settle into.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything downstairs. That was way too loud for me. And if you're a wild 5'2" local 20-something with a name starting in J, apparently you should be at one of the 5 bars several nights a week.
Wait. 20-something? Are you saying that as I near my 40th birthday, I'm no longer allowed at Old Key Limehouse?
I would say that right now you're only maybe one night a week instead of several nights a week.
Oh, wah.
And I am still waiting for the rest of the stories. As a matter of fact, we all are.
Get me another Planter's Punch in my habit.
OldKeyLimehouse.com. So, we got some rest last night after being at the boat show all day and at the restaurant last night. And we're on our way to our last stop for this episode, and that's a duck boat tour.
Something I've always wanted to do.
It's Diva Ducks, and it's out of West Palm Beach.
Yeah. And these are really cool. I've spent a lot of time downtown West Palm, and I'll be hanging out at a bar. And I see this thing trolling the street, and it's
amazing. This is an amphibious vehicle. It goes from land into the water. You've done this before.
I've done it many times. I've done it in Boston. We did it, I think, in Washington, D.C., Baltimore. We did it in Alaska last year when we were in Alaska.
Okay, that's probably the last place I would do any water-based tour.
It actually was one of the most boring ones we did because the towns are so small. It didn't take long to drive around, and there wasn't much to look into the water.
I'm telling you, there is a lot to look at down here, and so I'm excited to see it from a whole new perspective with the Diva Duck.
And let's take a listen to some of the sound from the tour.
Allow me to begin by introducing your crew for the day. To my left is the fearless, and dare I say, the fabulous Captain Derek. My name is Tony. Most of you met me earlier. I will also be your first mate and tour guide today. So, the captain is getting ready to pull up the ladder, and I hate to tell you this, guys, but that was your last chance to duck out. Thank you for chuckling, whoever that was. I do hope you like duck puns, because I can assure you the jokes will remain foul a little bit throughout the tour. Yeah, I'll keep it to a minimum. Here's an example. What happens to a duck when it flies upside down? It quacks up. We don't want that on board today. We be German right on out of West Palm Beach, and as promised, we're heading over to beautiful Palm Beach Island via the Royal Park Bridge. Yes, but up to 2% of the entire world's wealth can be found on this island, and I suspect that statistic is somewhat on the rise. We don't count the millionaires anymore, there are too many of them. This is the most exciting part of the tour.
Diva Duck going in for a dive. Woo!
Splashback, we As I said earlier, if you'd like to stretch your limbs, be my guest. In the meantime, I'm going to see if I can't catch us a little wave.
Time to unpack.
Well, now it is time for our ever popular wrap of this adventure. And, we missed one of the big highlights. And I'm really surprised, actually, that this hasn't happened to us. We're 15 months into this now. And I'm really surprised that getting sick hasn't been something that's popped up, and especially with my illness.
Yes, the two of us together.
I know.
Between the two of us.
You have illnesses, I have illnesses. I'm really surprised that our adventures haven't been affected by them more. Now, it was your fault this time. So I guess might be my fault next time. But,
we're going to pencil you in, make sure you know it's your fault next time.
I mean, I did break ribs and kind of ruin one adventure, so.
That clocked in for several credits, that one. It really did. But yeah, we had a time on this adventure. It was a day late, but we got it going and had a good time. You know what? I was really happy to see how well we were embraced by everybody. Everyone there was so nice to us and more than willing to talk to us.
I know. It was, I was surprised at that too, actually, but then I thought there'd be a lot more press. I didn't see a lot of press. Now,
I didn't see a lot either.
Maybe they were there the day before. Maybe, they went in and so they wouldn't be there on the weekend. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. They probably don't usually go on Saturdays like we did.
Yeah. but boy, were there people there. Holy crap.
There were a lot of people there. And, there were a lot of floating docks to accommodate all those people. My gosh, I have never seen anything like it before. This is my first boat show. So I've never seen that type of thing where there's just floating dock after floating dock and you're walking along. It's funny, you walk along and all of a sudden you're on you're on floating ground. It's like unsecure ground. All of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, did I just get drunk and didn't know it? What happened?
And the one bridge we were walking over, there were so many people on the one time that thought did cross my mind. I wonder if there's a weight limit on this particular dock. It was packed.
Surprised there aren't life vests required just to go on the floating dock.
Can we talk about the big motors? Oh my God.
They were huge.
They were twice the size of you. We took a picture of you with one that was standing up on a stand in the hall. It was double your size.
It was massive. I mean, where do they build these things? It's just insane. It's like...
And then the other thing we have to talk about when it comes to this boat show is, oh my God, the money. I thought horses were expensive. Ain't nothing on these boats.
But you know what? I wonder which you've been to both boat shows and horse shows. Which has the crazier characters? Because we got Squid Heads, but I've never been to a horse show. Which attracts the weirdest people?
Well, they're
kind of a toss-up.
They're both obsessed, right? I mean, they're both addictedly obsessed to what they do. So I think it's about even, to be honest. And they both are very expensive sports and hobbies and obsessions.
Expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear about it, and I grew up watching like lifestyles of the rich and famous and stuff. But I went to a private school, and the kids I went to school with were just dripping in money, and a lot of them had boats. So I just took it for granted. I didn't really get it. Like, oh my gosh, you have to be wealthy to own these things. I mean, I'm sorry, but boat clubs, that's the way to do it, my friends. Like,
and then
wow.
We went the next day on the duck boat down in West Palm Beach, basically.
Right.
And we were in the water there. And after we had come from the boat show the day before, to get in the water and see all the people who actually had boats and the size of those boats.
I mean, it's crazy. So you're driving through Palm Beach, right? And so putting in perspective, there's a lot of money in Palm Beach County. You're driving through and you see these massive mansions, just one after another, after another, after another. But then when you get in the water and after going to the boat show and seeing the price tags on some of these things, and then to see just as far as the eye can see a field of boats, I mean, just millions of dollars in the water. It's absolutely insane. By the way, I'm thinking particular of when we were around Peanut Island and we saw the people with the boats and they're standing in the water. I felt like such a schmuck because it was about 10 minutes of us being around Peanut Island, of me saying, oh, I used to hang around a place that looked just like this called Peanut Island. Where I realized it was Peanut Island. I just had never seen it from the perspective of the water. I'm usually on the beach at Peanut Island. I've never seen it from that angle before. It is quite lovely, I must say, even without a beer in hand. We were just discussing this cruise we're going to be taking again next year. Very exciting. And we're going to be hitting Key West. And that's another bridge that you won't have.
That's right.
Guys, this is the only way you go. The only way you get there to Key West is you never take the bridge.
So we'll have to do another Key West episode. We'll have to figure out a different angle on that one.
We will.
We have friends down there. I think there's so many interesting things happening in Key West now. My thought was that we would do a People of Key West episode because when we have so many friends down there that know people that I think we could come up with some very
All you have to do, you just throw a rock. No matter who you hit in Key West, they are interested.
It might even be Mardi Gras time. It's the beginning of February, so it might be Mardi Gras time.
You might have to do it. But this was great. Seeing all these boats at the Miami Boat Show was so fun because, you know, like I said, I've grown up down here. It's always been kind of on the peripheral of my lifestyle, but I've never really jumped in. So it was nice to kind of put both feet on unsolid ground and check out the Miami National Boat Show. It was really cool.
It was cool. Well, let's do this. Let's wrap it up. That was a fun episode and a fun adventure for us. But we have a lot more coming, and we're not quitting yet.
We're not quitting yet. Not yet. In fact, I don't think we're allowed to quit because we have to be keynote speakers at PodFest in a couple of weeks, which is going to be the source of our next adventure. Because, you know, something that people do a lot of when they come, Florida is huge, especially Orlando, where PodFest is, for conventions. People do a lot of business travel into Florida. And when they come in here, especially because it's so beautiful and sunny most of the time, people bring their families and make a whole vacation out of it. And actually, they're calling it now workations. It's like a thing. So we know a lot of our friends are going to be going to PodFest with us. They take their families. They go to Universal Studios or Disney or whatever. And then there are always other conventions going around in the same hotel. So we're going to try to meet people who are there for business, but making a whole workation out of it and talk about workation travel in Florida. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And we're getting you to go on the Eye.
That's right.
And if anybody doesn't know what the eye is, it's that enormous 500-foot tall Ferris wheel that that became so popular in London. Everybody's seen it in London, and then they built one in Orlando. And we were so close last year, but it was windy or raining or something. We couldn't do it.
Not just last year. It's like the third time we'll be in Orlando at least.
But this is going to be a challenge for you because you have vertigo.
I do. Let me explain. So if I am near tall buildings, but I'm on the ground, and I look up, I get severe vertigo. I feel like I'm falling. Apparently now with a migraine, I get severe vertigo, and I feel like I'm falling. So I'd be very curious to see, because it's been a while since I've been up on heights, if heights still make me feel like that.
The advantage to this is it's not open. You're in enclosed cars, and I think that's...
Okay, you know me well enough to know that probably doesn't make a difference. You know, I am grabbing onto you no matter what.
If nothing else, I figured they probably have a bench or something you could sit on the middle of the floor and not look out.
Do they have blindfolds? That might be what I need.
Either that or I'm going to just bring a horse tranquilizer and we'll fix you.
That could be fun. Oh, man. Anyway.
So we're going to try and we're actually going to a party at one of the key spots, one of the biggest piano bars in Orlando, so we can report on that too.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fun. The Howling something. Could be a good time.
It's open to the public as well. They're closing it tonight. We're there, but I think there's some things right around where we're staying that we'll get to try and let you know how we make out and make it part of the next adventure.
And that is the true essence of a workation.
You can find all of the episodes on findingfloridapodcast.com. You can see all of our pictures. You got to see our pictures from this last one at the boat show. It was fun. You definitely have to see the Squid Heads. If you go to see nothing else, you got to go see the Squid Heads.
Baby, what a spectacle. What a sight.
You almost walked by the Squid Heads and never even noticed them.
I was looking the other direction. I don't know what's wrong with me.
And we would love to hear your ideas. You can drop me an email at Glenn with 2 N's at floridapodcastnetwork.com or Jemmy, Jaime at floridapodcastnetwork.com.
Yeah, you got it. Yes, that's right. And we're on iTunes, all of your podcast catchers. Connect with us on social media. You can find us at FindFL Podcast. And you can join our group of Florida Podcast Network superfans on Facebook by looking up FPN Insiders. We are looking forward to interacting with you all over the interwebs. But for now,
here's to your next Florida adventure.